nutrition only, just nutrition. But we're going to try and look at it holistically and briefly, such that we are not going to be too technical and jargonistic about the talks. I'm going to be very brief, so that during the questioning, if there are any specific things, we'll dive into it. Again, Dr. Bodaga is my name. I practice medicine, holistic medicine, I must say, not just the area of specialization as a surgeon, but holistic medicine. Nutrition is, like I said, a very big topic. Is what is before us this morning, and wellness. Nutrition is everything and is anything. What you eat, what you drink is nutrition. The way you drink it and eat it is what will make you have a positivity from that food or the drink. If you drink it wrongly, you get the aspect of it. If you take it with moderation, you get the positive out of it. So, first of all, the life of every Christian is supposed to be a life of moderation. So, in nutrition, we're talking about you consuming food and water in moderate quantity. Moderation should be everything. Don't say because you have a bag of salt, you will not carry a spoon, pack salt inside water, and begin to drink. If you do that, well, we know where we'll see you. At the same token, you're not going to say because you have plenty gari, you sit down, you balance, swallow everything. When you finish, in the same thing, when you look around us, how do we eat whatever we're going to eat is important. So, in a simple language, nutrition is defined as the study of the food and water and drinks that we take so that they will be beneficial and useful to us. If you take them in excess quantity, you have its own side effects. If you take them in lower quantity, it has its own side effects. The essence of eating and drinking is to give us energy. And the energy is to process our daily activity. Even the process of breathing is energy. Walking, talking, you need energy. In fact, let's say 4 years ago, when we had this issue of COVID in the world, people saw the importance of energy. People died because of lack of energy, nothing more. So, what you're going to eat and drink should be done in moderation so that it eats and generates us vital energy. The food we consume contain various amounts of substances which are called nutrients. These nutrients are the ones that are metabolized by the body to give us the vital energies we need. And there are so many of these nutrients, at least more than 40 different nutrients. They are very important for our body to consume. In the same token, we're talking about the food. Food has various classes. Some say 5, some say 6, but non-medical teaching now says 7. But medically, we see that the food classes are 6. What are these food classes? The almighty carbohydrate. Everybody knows it. Protein. We all know it. Fats and oil. The vitamins. The minerals. You talk about water. In fact, water is more important than all of them. Because you can live more than 7 days without food, but without water, no. Your kidney will shut down. And once the kidney shut down, we know the consequence. So, water is fat, number 1, then before every other thing. Look, and this same water is needed to process all those foods we eat. So, food And nutrition and food and defined as the diet consumed in right proportion for the body activity that we undertake on a daily basis. That's essential. Because your nutrition should be based on what you need. If you take what you don't need, it has its own side effects. What the babies need, the amount of nutrients the baby needs, growing babies, is different from the amount of nutrients those of us who are on the other side need. So it's important. So, when we're talking about the various type of nutrients, we class, like I said, we class them again into those groups. Then I'll talk about the active nutrients. How do we get these nutrients? As a matter of fact, when we consume food, when we eat food, the food has to be processed. You don't just swallow a bar, you think that if you eat a bar will be what will come to you. A bar come down, or Gary come down to its final product, the glucose, or commonly called sugar. All carbohydrates are called polyhydroxy glucose. That means they are all sugar. So, this sugar we have to break down. But before we start breaking down the carbohydrate, the food must have gone through our mouth. And we try the process of masticating or chewing this food. And then going through the pathway, the gullet. Through the gullet, the esophagus, the food goes to the stomach. Right in the stomach, a number of activity goes on. The churning process and the activity of the enzyme come into play. These various enzymes are there, also depending on that food and other nutrients, to break down the food completely and give us the active products that we would absorb. Okay. That we are going to absorb and generate energy for us. But then it doesn't not absorb like that, generate energy. Then the whole process go on. The metabolic process of this food stuff go on. And the metabolism of the food, that's why the food will now be broken down to eat the active ingredient called the ATP. The ATP is what gives us energy. Without the ATP, I won't be here talking with you. From the food I've eaten, I have to break it down to get to the final product, the ATP. So the essence of the proper nutrition is that we want to have food, eat the right food, that will give us the right amount of energy, different from the one I need, and the one the babies need, the one the mothers need, or the one the pregnant women need. They would have to have food in right proportion. Now, when we're talking about wellness, the issue about wellness is another holistic thing we look at. Wellness is not just that you are not sick. You might not be sick, but then one is not well. Wellness has 5 physical properties we look at. 5 aspects we look at. These 5 aspects are, we're talking about physical activity, the physical wellness, the emotional wellness, the intellectual wellness, the social wellness, and the spiritual wellness. This is very important. These 5 aspects is very important. For you to say you are well, even the Bishop has actually defined health. That health is not just a state of being physically well or just absence of disease, but a state where you are physically, mentally, and socially well. That is balance. So, the wellness of every individual is centered around the physical aspect of it. When we say the physical, not just ability to run around, but your ability to undertake proper sleep is important. Sleep is part of wellness. And your ability to wake up as and when due. The emotional aspect of wellness is very important. A number of people are engaged in negative thinking. They sit down, they begin to look at their body. Maybe the next minute, my heart is going to cease. Or my the heartbeat was a little faster. Say, oh, maybe when it's transiting. Emotional status is important. You need to have positive thinking and think positively and act positively to be well. Thank God that this discussion is being held in the Christian environment where positive thinking, believing in the death and resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ is part of moving ourselves forward. So your attitude to life is centered around you having a positive emotion, a positive status. Think positively with everything. It's part of being well. And the intellectual aspect of wellness is also important. In the intellectual aspect of wellness, talking about you being able to process various activities or thought patterns, not just the issue of side talks and side gossips, but you should be able to process some thinking in your brain, analyze some issues positively, and find out where they're going to. For instance, the story is going on, like she mentioned about the cholera thing. People think it's an attack. Yes, it is an attack anyway, but it's an attack. People think so. But what has actually happened about this issue is that people have breached protocols of how to consume foodstuffs. Washing of our hands to avoid germs is part of normal process of nutritional awareness. Now, as the rains are coming, in fact, when I first said about this, the rains have started. It's been happening all year. Once the rains start, there is this issue of open defecation. People pass through whatever they like. Now the rain will wash these stools, this is into the sewage system or the drain system, our water source. This water source become contaminated by this fecal matter. And this fecal matter might also contain the cholera bacteria. Cholera is actually a bacteria. Cholera is the popular bacteria that causes cholera. It's been there for years. And it's very common in when we are having programs like this, revival and church program, because foods are easily supplied, and then people will not wash their hands properly, everything. And then you go to the toilet, you will not wash your hands, you will not clean up, you go to pick food, throw it into the mouth. Once the food has entered the mouth, you open into the proper pathway. What I tried to describe just now, the alimentary canal. Food entered there, contain that bacteria. It multiply and produce toxin. The toxin of cholera does not enter inside the blood. That is why it stays, people begin to pass through. It stays in the intestinal lining. It does something, it attracts more water. It sucks water from your body. There is a pathway of water absorption, fluid absorption. We call the sodium potassium ATP kinase system. Now, cholera block it. What will happen is that your water or fluid you have, they are put into the digestive system. And the food there. In fact, the person passing cholera, his stomach is bloated. If he's bloated, he wants to go and push it out. Yeah, as he's pushing out, more is coming. The toxin is there. And that toxin came from that bacteria. Intellectual aspect of wellness is that you should be able to think out, this thing I'm taking, how safe is it? Not just believing that somebody says, Baba says, this thing I give, if you drink them like this, when you just drink them now, everything will just clear. Or you change all the disease. But that content, that container they are giving you that thing from, how clean and how safe it is. Or even the food that be passed, how safe is that thing? The joint where you bought your food, what have you analyzed it, set up, how safe and hygienic it is? That's the intellectual aspect of awareness we're talking about. You must be able to process them and know that you are endangering yourself in a way. And big part of the real awareness too, we talk about when you go through a busy highway. We were told that you should look to the left, look to the right, and be sure the way is clean before you step in. If you just walk into the highway without intellectually processing the path you are going through, there's an accident. then other things we need to come up. Now, the social component of wellness is such that we enjoy a lot in Christendom. The fellowships, the brotherhood we maintain in Christendom. It's part of wellness. Be your brothers and your neighbor's keeper. If your brother did not come to church today, you should find out why he has not come or she has not come. That is part of social interaction. It's part of wellness and the well-being of an individual. Then, the most in here talking about spiritual active aspect of wellness. This is a large area. Outside this place, we will be talking about the issue of meditation, yoga activities. But in Christendom, spiritual activity means you really being tuned with what the Word of God says. Studying it and thinking about it. Reviewing it over and over again and let it sink in you and begin to emit the words that you are taught, and let it show in you. It's part of wellness, really. Because I say this, without missing words, 1996, there was this research about hypertensive patients. It was done in Ibadan here. A group of them, they put three groups. Those hypertensive patients who took their drugs. Those ones who took their drugs and go to church and pray. And then the third group are the ones, they don't even pray, they don't even take their drugs. And of course, what was the end result? It was discovered that those who do not take their drugs, of course, they develop stroke, heart failures, kidney failures, heart attacks, like that. Now, the important group was this other group that took their drugs and they prayed. They fasted. They undertook a lot of spiritual activities. Sometimes they say, they are taking a week fast because of their sickness. We say, well, the authors noted that this group of patients were the ones that fared better. They are the ones that did better and recovered almost completely from this hypertensive crisis. As a matter of fact, the patients who have diabetes and they take their drugs and they do these spiritual activities of praying, fasting, meditation, controlling what they eat, they did well more. They did better than those ones who believe in the jar of medicines. Drink all of them from all corners. And the more they are taking, the more... because one very vital aspect of medicine is that we say all drugs are potential poison. All. No matter what it is. Even the common aspirin, has its poisonous aspect. Because by the time you know what is aspirin, you look at it, it is an acid. So by the time the acid comes into your gut, it's going to activate. You already have acid in your stomach. You now add more acid to it. So it's going to cause its own destructive. So all drugs are potential poison. So if you not believe purely on drugs, no other thing, you do well. But then, like I said, wellness is 5 aspects: physical, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual. For us to be well, we have to practice all of these things. Now, the components of nutrition that relate to the diseases, essentially, and which I want to deal with, has to do with what people are talking about these days. The antioxidants. Everybody's talking about antioxidants now. Antioxidants. What are antioxidants? Antioxidants are chemicals, substances in our body or we take in. They help to neutralize free radicals. Free radicals are the byproduct of our daily activities and metabolism. These free radicals are actually be incriminated as causation for all diseases. All, including HIV, including the COVID they talk about. Once you have high titer of free radicals, you are going to break down. It's a matter of time. Now, the antioxidants are substances that you take to mop up these free radicals. Because the free radicals, we say they're active oxygen. They are destroying the tissues here and there. They cause toxicity to the body. But the free radicals come in, the antioxidants come in to neutralize these free radicals. We now have sources of free radicals nearly everywhere. But just that our consumption of these free radicals are poor. A number of people do not like them. For instance, they even prefer to bleach them off, dye them, before you take up the free radicals. Most simple thing, let me give you. The orange, citric acid, is able to neutralize the free radicals. These are part of the, okay, when I said the food class then, I gave example, I didn't give practical example to each of them. I said carbohydrate we all know. Protein we all know protein. Meat, fish, egg, snail, and some areas, snake. They are all free radical, they are all protein. Fats and oil. Fats and oil, they are important. All forms of vegetable we talk about. But most important gift we have about fat and oil in this area is palm oil. The palm oil, apart from this palmitic acid it's got, it also got the carotenoid, which is a very vital aspect of the free radicals people are spending money to buy. Assuming the antioxidants are spending money to buy. And these antioxidants are not cheap. The processed antioxidants are not cheap anyway, because the woman will not make it cheap for you. You must face the reality. Now, the vitamins. Yes. A group of vitamins, we have the water-soluble and the fast-soluble vitamins. The water-soluble vitamins, we say, okay, these are vitamins you're going to easily dissolve in water. You get from water-related substance. Common thing that we see is the vitamin C. Everything, all our oranges, all our, even the lime, lemon, they are all vitamin C's. The good source, there are other very good sources of vitamin C. The apples, we talk about even the high folate ones, really, they are all sources of vitamin C. Pomegranate is a good source of vitamin C. But those are high folate. The sour shops, they are all source of vitamin C's. The vitamins are very good source of antioxidants, which I will deal with later. Now we're talking about minerals. Minerals are the elements in our daily activities. But some of these minerals are essential for day-to-day activity. In fact, for our normal growth. One very important mineral we cannot forget to mention is calcium. Calcium, low dose of calcium or calcium deficiency, which come in form of the vitamin D, which is a fast-soluble vitamin to push it into the body, leads to our bones being brittle and weak. We have people developing what we call bone legs, K-legs, bones fracture easily. In older ages, we talk about osteoporotic bones and joint pains. The minerals are very important for those. Then one very important mineral is magnesium. It helps in our sleep pattern. These minerals are also very important, and we need them in our foods. And most of our foods do contain them, African foods. But the problem is that we see them as local food. Let's look at our green vegetables, for instance. The popular one in the West, the green vegetable called efo, ewedu, very loaded. But yet, some of us think that they are meant for the local people. No wonder some of the illnesses we now have. In those days, they say they're not common in Africa because we consume those things in large quantities then. Let's look at, still talking about, I'll still deal with this mineral and vitamins because that is where the antioxidants come in. Water. Let me quickly go into water. Water consumption is very important. The body is made up 75% water. Water is important. People die of diarrheal diseases, cholera, because of water. Because as you are passing through, you are losing water. If you can take water as much as you are passing, the person will most likely survive. But you cannot drink. Because as you are drinking it, your tummy is full, you are going to throw it out, you vomit. So you won't drink. So that when you come to the hospital, the first thing they're going to be doing for you is rehydrate you, give you fluids and water. Water. Every person, every adult, as a matter of fact, need at least 3 liters of water in a day. 3 liters is like, we're talking of 6 pure waters in a day, minimum. And that should come in. We don't say you should drink it at once, but then it should be taken spread out over a period of that 24 hours. But if you take more than that, you pass it out in urine, which is also good for you. A common thing we hear patients say that, I know say I get malaria. How? When I piss my urine, it dey yellow, they red. He's not taking enough water. Oga, how many bottles of water have you taken today? Water, I'm not the two like am. In the morning, I don't drink one pure water. In the night, I'll drink another one. All afternoon that is hot, and you are sweating, you're losing water through your sweat. As I'm talking, I'm losing water through my saliva. You pass urine, you lose water. When you go to stool, you lose water. All those waters you lose, they amount to about 2.5 liters every day without doing anything. So, and you refuse to replace. How will you not get dehydrated? So, quality of water is actually the thing. We should take, pure water is what is still available, but we should make sure that our water, particularly this period now that we have cholera, make sure you boil your water. Boil your water. If you take any water from the tap or from where, filter it. You can add simple chlorine. One of the easiest chlorine you can come across is popular bleach. Bleach is chlorine. A few drops of it will not kill into a jar of water. So you have to kill the bacteria and the germs in your water. So water intake is very important. Now, back to what I said, the main thing I was going to do was the antioxidants. The role of antioxidants in the health of every individual, both in disease and in health. Antioxidants are needed in large quantity. And antioxidants are found in nearly every food substance we eat. One of the easiest and commonest source of antioxidants I give is, look at our tomato. Contain lycopene. It contains carotene. It contains vitamin C. Very loaded. These are antioxidants that will neutralize all the free radicals that come up. And the free radicals can be specific, causing some specific illnesses. As we age, various illnesses come up. One of them is arthritis. Arthritis is seen as a disease, but my teaching is, I tell people that arthritis is not a disease. It's wear and tear. This shirt I wear now, if I keep wearing it and washing it, it begins to fade. So what is happening in arthritis is that our joints, over the years of our usage, pursuing balls, jumping balls, running from one place to another, the joints are beginning to wear off. The fine coating of the joints, called hyaline cartilage, is beginning to peel off. The body needs to produce new ones. The process of producing them is not as fast as they wear off. So the bones begin to touch. When you now move your joint, you hear cracker, cracker. is no sickness. It's just a normal processing of life. And I try to make this, what do you need to do? Increase your antioxidant intake. That will help those joints to be resurfaced. Resurfacing of those joints occur. God is so wonderful that he made man with all necessary ingredients to replenish itself. The ingredients are there, but because of our not using them, or not calling for them, are not servicing them as it were, giving the right adjustment for them to come into activity, they get weak off. So, the human nature, as God has set it, is that it's in a closed cycle. Closed cycle in the sense that there is moderation. If you are in a state where you need, you do a lot of activity, you need a lot of food to generate energy for you. If you don't, you are not in that state. You are in a solitary state, and you are consuming that plenty food. You now come into what they call, in nutrition, it's malnutrition. It's also called malnutrition, but it's now called overnutrition. And the process of called obesity. And it's a factor of, what is this? Obesity is a factor of our height in square meter divided by our weight. The number of persons have, they are about 4 feet. They are tall, 4 feet tall. And the person is weighing 150 kg. Because he has all the wherewithal. He consumes all. He has overnutrition. And now lead to obesity. Which now creates its own sickness. And now activates all other pathways of diseases. Sometimes hypertension, diabetes, the arthritis we are talking about setting early. And because of this early onset of all these things, the normal blood circulation going around the body is now impaired. There's impediment of the blood flow. With the impediment of the blood flow, particularly to the brain, there is going to be the onset of dementia. Dementia is a situation where the person begins to forget something. I left this handkerchief here. Before we can go, where is this handkerchief now? He goes to Mr. A's house to go and search. Look for the handkerchief he left here. And he's there. Everybody will be accused. You now come by veteran and say, because poor blood supply to the brain, the blood cells begin to get atrophic. You might say it has to be old people. No. Younger people are experiencing it. Poor blood supply to the brain. Because our process of the blood circulation is reduced. Is diminished, yes, reduced. So the human body, like I say, is set up so that we have to moderate all the activities going on in our system. The cells of the body, because that's where we actually start from. God started making, when they say the make of man is a cell. Cell is the smallest component of the human body. So every sickness is at the cell level. So we're talking about disease at cellular level. That's where it is, because one cell, unicellular, come together, multicellular, and then they form what they call tissues. These tissues come together, they form what we call organs. The various organs pull together and form systems. The systems of the body come together and give rise to what we call the organism. So, in any ill health we're talking about, any derangement in our metabolic activity is occurring at cellular level, at cell level. That cell is where the biochemistry occurs, the cells, the glucose you ate, the fiber you ate, the meat you ate is going to be broken down. Of course, when we break down protein, we get what we call amino acids. They are essential amino acids. Some of the essential amino acids also serve as antioxidants. And when you look at the fats and oil, they are essential fats which you must eat in your food. Of late, we hear people talking about, I have high cholesterol. High cholesterol. Cholesterol is animal fat. Plants do not have cholesterol. Only animals can have cholesterol. Because of the peculiarity of the animal. Human being cholesterol is so important that without it, you can't be a man, you can't be a woman. The sex hormones have this cholesterol as a skeleton to form them. So the pursuit of, say, high cholesterol, low cholesterol, you go to the lab, high cholesterol is the thing. I fight against it. Even Americans have started it now, they realize that the illnesses they attributed to cholesterol were false. They are related to the free radical accumulation, not cholesterol. Cholesterol come into play when you have caused other problems on the road. For instance, your road now is under repairs. There is impediment in the traffic flow. Because the impediment in traffic flow, vehicles are going to there's no build up there that might lead to hold up and then accidents and all of them. You now come, the accident came up because of you saw people on the road, because there's many vehicles. Many vehicles do not cause the accident. It is the impediment, and then your speeding. So what happened in most of these metabolic illnesses is that common thing is the hypertension, diabetes, atherosclerosis, dementias, the arthritis I mentioned, even the obesities. We have in our own overnutrition, eating too much of what we shouldn't. We need carbohydrate, like I said. You cannot run from here to catch bus if you have not eaten. If you try them, well, sorry is your name. If we go ahead and now decide to say, because we have a lot of yes, palm oil. I think palm oil is good. You wake up in the morning, carry a bottle of palm oil, empty into your stomach. You try and metabolize some of it. The body system, the system might help you. Help you to pass out some in your stools. The organ called liver and pancreas, they might not help you too much. You might develop what we call pancreatitis. Because the pancreas is struggling to deal with what you're bringing to him. You challenge him to produce the lipases. Those are the enzymes that will break down the fats, to produce the lipases. Now there's a problem. And he's struggling to produce them, you damage it. The next thing, you have the pancreatitis. And if you continue, you have a CA pancreas. That's the name of the pancreas. Because we have breached the concept of moderation. Take everything in moderation. Because your body is in a constant homeostasis. The homeostatic system the body has created for you is such that you have to balance it to continue. So, if your blood circulation become poor, the blood vessels become narrow. Now, if you now are the type that was having normal flow of normal level of cholesterol, and because of reduced activity, the cholesterol can no longer, the cholesterol is in the blood, it's not free. There's no free cholesterol. It's bind to various tissues in the blood flowing through. Because of the sluggishness of the blood and the impediment, that blood begins to deposit its content at that point. Like we say, like in our junction now, rain flow, and the rain falling, there's no free flow, so some impediments hold down some debris. So that's what happens in the blood. Some debris are here, and those debris now form what they call plaque. And these plaques prevent blood from going through, and you develop atherosclerosis. From there, hypertension develop. Before you know it, the person is not circulating blood well. When he's walking, he says, I'm having what they call majak. And we might end up with a stroke or end up with a heart attack and all those things. So moderation is important. It's not as if cholesterol by itself is also an antioxidant. That's what I'm making. What I'm making is that not all diseases are bad, but then moderation is what we need. And the only source of cholesterol is animal fat. So I hear people now say, because I eat a lot of palm oil, now I get cholesterol. It's not possible. In fact, if you take palm oil as a standard, as your meal, you can't get you can't get it. The cholesterol there, the palm oil will help to lyse all those enough for you. So we need some of these locally produced, local food substance. Now, back to the cause of antioxidants. I said they are in groups. These various antioxidants come from various food substances. The vegetables are mostly source of the antioxidants, and they are helpful to us. I mentioned the four. They are common here. Ewedu. There are things like some vegetables we call broccoli, the cauliflowers, carrots. These are all vegetable sources that produce a lot of antioxidants for us that will help to neutralize the free radicals. And these free radicals need to be kept in check. So for us not to break down medically. And even if we do, we're going to take these free radicals, we're able to heal our system. That is the homeostatic system I want you to take away. That the body has a control, homeostatic control, that needs all these food substances in small quantities. Now, among all these things, we also talk about our teas. Teas are a source of antioxidants. There are various types of teas. The black tea, the green teas. The black tea is a very common one, the Lipton tea. It's black because of the way it's produced. You know, there are the other sources, like the moringa and all those stuff. They're also good source of teas and antioxidants. Then our cocoa. Cocoa is a local, it's a plant now, cocoa plant. Yes. In those days, the villages, they used to even chew them and they say it's very bitter. In fact, it has the best package of antioxidants than all the teas. But people don't like it because it's bitter. And the people who like it, they take it and then go and process it for us, send it to us as chocolate. And then we spend money to buy it. And at that time they process it, the content of antioxidants has been reduced. Unlike the raw cocoa we should have been consuming. All these antioxidants help in the body defense, like I say. So that even when we have these illnesses, like cancers, the centerpiece of the treatment are drugs formulated from these various antioxidants. There are many. In fact, one of the most expensive of them, the taxers, they are so expensive that one shot of injection might cost about 150,000. It's all from the locally produced antioxidants we have. But we don't take them. So the Oyibo help us to process them and give it back to us as injection, who we buy expensively. Then let's look at the nuts. Granules, cashew nuts. We gloss over them. These nuts are fully packed with essential nutrients, vitamins, and antioxidants. We need them on a day-to-day basis. That we cannot overemphasize, honestly. Our various type of grapes and fruits we talk about. We also, although we actually prefer the potted ones, when we talk about the blackberries, the strawberries, and the raspberries. These are all imported. But they are good because of the antioxidant content. We can actually utilize our own here, our own fruits here, to get this. Then you look at the spices. Cloves, good antioxidant. In fact, it is said that when we weigh the antioxidant content of these spices, cloves seems to have the highest content. And you have things like turmeric, things like even the curry powders we used to cook. They all have good antioxidant contents, which we are encouraged to make use of. And one important antioxidant that the church uses a lot is the olive oil. The pastors don't tell us so. They say it's an anointing oil. They will take it. When they go to their club, they take it. They say, but you don't have to tell you. But it is a good source of antioxidant for you, both for your digestive system, both for the skin, your hair, even your sight. It's fantastic. But just that, now, I think people now seem to know about it a little. They are now bringing adulterated olive oil. So, again, we encourage that when you're doing olive oil, look for the cold press. The cold press olive oil is actually the best. It's without heat and this thing that they produce it. Well, the wines, there are wines that we can actually get. Wines from various flowers we have. Rosemary and rose oil, they have wine. We can get wine out of them. And they are very good for the body system. And we talk about what WHO encourages us to do. Center your health and food practices around what you have in your locality, what you can easily get without needing foreign exchange to bring in. Center your food and your energy sources from them. If you do that, you will spend less and you get the best, and less of the adulterated piece. Because in Nigeria, we seem to have everything, but we don't value. We have onion. Some people have to import onion, some countries have to import onion, and spend billions to importing onion. But yeah, we have. We don't consume as much. We just take maybe slice, we're going to cook soup, we just cut and put. But people drink onion as a source of antioxidant, and which is very important. We'll talk about the soya beans and the soy flour. They are also very important for our nutrition. The beans, all forms of beans, as a matter of all beans, as a matter of fact, is good. They are good. We should. We try to balance what the WHO talk about, that your health is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being, not just the absence of diseases. By 2023, the spiritual aspect was added to it, to the definition, that your spiritual well-being is also important for you to say you are healthy. So, for us to be healthy, we have to try and practice good nutrition, good wellness activities, the physical exercising, the emotional, positive thinking, intellectual discourse, social cohesion is important. Social cohesion is important. And then the spiritual aspect. And then the foods. Our food should be centered around what we have. And then we are lucky in Nigeria that we have everything in right proportion. I mentioned 6 categories. In Europe and America, they say it's 7. What is the 7th one? Raw fish. All our food has raw fish. If you take orange, for instance, you open it and chew every content of it, you are taking the raw fish and the fluid and the vitamin C content. But over there, their oranges, they squeeze it, get the water. They take the orange juice. So they now have to spend money, go and buy raw fish, which is packaged for them. There's a raw fish package to be sold. Check some superstore seeds. You see raw fish. Because they are not consuming it. But in here we have, it's part of our food. If you consume our food, you don't need to tag raw fish as a separate entity. It is part of the whole thing. Well, sir, I want to thank everybody for listening, and that nutrition and wellness, they are one integral aspect of the homeostatic system. I thank you very much.
Please celebrate God in the life of Doctor. Wow. For those who are many English, you are able to pick. For those maybe are struggling with